only show, live from Houston, Texas. It's the go-to girl, professional comedian, TV producer, and founder of MarriedDate.com. It's millionaire matchmaker, Amber.
Hey guys, welcome to Thirsty Thursdays. It's your girl matchmaker Amber Neal.
And your boy DJ Houston.
Are you thirsty?
A little
Are you ready
bit.
for some love?
I got some Dr. Pepper though.
If you insist. I love Dr.
Right.
Pepper. I swear. If you cut me open when I die, it is going to be Dr. Pepper and cheese. Those are going to be my two things.
Hashtag I believe DP.
You know, today we decided not to have a sexy single on the sofa because one of the things that we need to break down for you guys is what love is. Because a lot of times singles come on the sofa saying, oh, I'm looking for love, or I don't want love anymore, I'm brokenhearted from love, or I'm dating somebody new and I'm not sure if it's love or lust, you know, because love and lust look a lot alike.
Mm-hmm, they sure do. And you know, it's funny about how many of these singles have come on and they say they're looking for love, and then they have not the first idea of what about love that they're looking for, you know? And I'm like, you're not healed yet. You need to find yourself first. And then go find somebody else.
And the thing is that love and lust look so closely together, but it's kind of one of those questions, how do I really differentiate the lust? Because you know how you're hot and heavy when you first meet somebody, you're humping like rabbits, you can't get enough of each other.
Yeah, that honeymoon stage.
You want, right? But the thing about it is like, but then when that transitions in the relationship to the next stage, that first stage is the infatuation stage, which, believe it or not, is very necessary for the success for relationships to last, because that bonding that you do in the beginning is what actually kind of helps you get through those rough times when you actually hate that person. You're falling apart, right? And so when you get to that disillusionment stage, that middle part is when you kind of find out, well, they're not as great, or they're not Prince Charming. They have some flaws after all, but guess what? So do you. And they have to deal with the disillusionment they had about you as well, right?
Right.
And so I think people really get to that disillusionment, and that is when you find out if it's love or lust, because lust will never be strong enough to get you through the disillusionment phase, right? So
yeah, it really isn't. Sex is not going to get you past the problems that you have. No matter how great the sex is, as soon as the sex is over, you go back to resenting each other.
That part. And where there's resentment, guys, that will never work. And if you can't get through the disillusionment phase, once you find out people are not who you thought they were, then you'll never make it to the negotiations phase. So today we're going to kind of break it down for y'all. What is love? And we're going to talk about how you can really tell the difference if you're in love or you're in lust. You know, one of the things that we deal with the most is how people will meet someone and they are wearing a mask. People are sending their representative. People, you know, you ever had that happen to you?
Oh, yes, I have. You know, somebody, especially like the first time you meet them and it's Mr. Perfect. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden it's like 2-3 dates in and you're like,
spawn of Satan.
Right, exactly.
Who sent you?
Like all of a sudden that mask just went whoo, and you're like, who the hell even are you? I would never be attracted to somebody like that.
Exactly.
It's funny how well people are at wearing the mask.
And it's so funny because when the mask comes off, the thing about it, that especially if you're dealing with a narcissist, the narcissist will love bomb the hell out of you. They will gaslight your ass when you try to actually call them on their crap and all. You're crazy. That didn't happen. And then all the compliments they give you in the beginning. Oh, you have beautiful eyes. Oh, I love your hair. I love your fashion. They love bomb you to death so that you're like, oh my God, it's Prince Charming. Oh, he's so wonderful. He says all the best things to me. And then as soon as they got you locked and they know you're hooked,
let me tell you.
You know, that hairstyle is okay, but I feel like you could look better. You know, your eyes are pretty, but have you ever thought about contacts? So they literally start taking away all the compliments that they gave you, and you could catch them dead to rights. in their phone. Who in the hell is this you're talking to? You're crazy. You're psycho. You're just jealous. You're just insecure. But them narcissists, they have the worst mask ever. So to avoid that's why it's on Thirsty Thursdays. Because if you're so thirsty, they're coming for your ass. They see it a mile away.
Do you ever find that there's this particular sign that has more of a mask than other signs?
Let me think about that.
Because I know you're more into the like zodiac signs and stuff. You've done more research and seen more people on it versus me. Yeah. So I'm wondering if there's like a particular sign that you've come across. Because I want to say honestly, like I feel like 2 signs are very good at masks: Cancers and Capricorns.
You know, it's interesting because I recently had a Cancer try to approach me, to date me. Told me they loved me out of the blue. I didn't even know they felt that way. But then when I actually gave them a chance to actually start talking to them, they went ghost on me. So I'm kind of like, was it all a game? Because we went on one date. I'll use that word loosely, just to see. And he tried to hook up that night, or he wanted to, and I didn't. And then all of a sudden, now he's not communicating. So, was he wearing a mask, or was it something I said? I mean, so at the end of the day, I kind of look at it like, I used to take those kind of things personally before I was healed. Yeah. I'm like, what did I do? It's me. What's wrong with me? No, but at the end of the day, some people are just used to ragamuffins. Some people are trying to date out of their league. You know, it's cool if you actually try to date somebody that, you feel is hard to get, or there's a lot of people that will try to date people that they know if they get them, they're going to feel insecure with them all the time. You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're
When people try to date you, when people try to date entertainers, it's like the thing that they love about you is your career, you're energetic, your entertainment, you're popular, you're fun, but it also is the thing that they wind up hating about you the most. Oh, that person's flirting with you. Oh, that person's doing this. Oh, do you have to go over there? So it's like they're impressed by you and they want to be with you. Yeah. But then as soon as they get you, it's a problem.
Yeah, I think as soon as they get you, they start feeling more intimidated because they don't realize what actually goes on. You know, because all they get to see, because as entertainers, we wear a different kind of mask. Exactly. We don't wear the mask of hiding who we are. Exactly. We wear the mask of having to perform all the time and put the smile on and be the entertainment. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So a lot of times they fall in love with that mask that we have on, that high energy, that, as people say about us, party animals,
and so opposite.
It really, the masks make it look like we were party animals, but we're really, really not. So I feel like, they fall in love with that mask. Like they really like that side of you, but they don't really realize that that's not you all the time. Right. We can't be on 24/7.
Tell me a joke. You know what I'm saying? That's what I always say. Tell me a joke.
I was like, knock, knock.
Right, but when you're that's how shocking it is. You're like, I'm not on 24/7. And our mask, it's not about that. It's just that we have a personal life and we have a public life. Right. And unfortunately, when you're a public figure, you don't really get to have a true private life. But you chose that, right? And so at the end of the day, guys, I think back to your question, though, we got to take a break. A sign that I feel wears the most mask, I would say probably Aquarius.
Aquarius. Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay.
Aquarius are very unique. They're very closed. They're very, they're the kind of person you could say, this is a Dr. Pepper can. And they would say, well, it wasn't always a Dr. Pepper can. It would just be some out of the box. They're very out of the box thinkers. So I think Aquarius is, and it's not even necessarily a negative mask. It's just that they're the hardest to read. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I find like Cancers are very, they hide themselves very well, and a lot of times, if you hide yourself, there's got to be a mask on. Yeah. And I feel like Capricorns are very close to Geminis. They have 2 different kind of...
Geminis is a whole nother subject.
Geminis, we all know Geminis have masks.
But we're coming into Leo season. Okay, guys. So if you guys want to be part of the show today, the phone lines are open. We're going to get those on the screen for you here when we come back from our break. We're going to hear a word from our sponsor at Meriday. We'll be right back.
Meriday, Houston's first private social club for couples.
all started when one of Jen's friends brought her out to a bar and she didn't want to go out. She saw me and said she's going to marry that guy. Her friends thought it was funny. The next night we met. This was 2 days before Christmas. And then we've been together ever since. That was 2007. We hung out that night, didn't even know each other's names. And then eventually we started hanging out and got together. Got engaged January of 2008. Got married April of 2009. And we have 2 kids and a third that we just had a month and a half ago in May. So now we have 3 kids, own a business, been together for 14 years now, and no turning back from there. Everybody said we wouldn't make it. We've been through trials and tribulations, made sure that we always stuck by each other's side and took care of everything we're supposed to, and we've been tested a lot. We have been tested hard. Other than that, we have enjoyed life. We travel. We enjoy spending time with each other 24 hours a day. Never a dull moment, never separation. It's actually been great.
Join Married8 today by visiting www.married8.com. Married8, Houston's first private social club for couples.
We are the Adolphs.
Willie and Tequila.
We're blessed and honored to be asked to be a host couple for Married8.
We have been a part of each other's lives for so many years.
We partied hard and worked harder.
We have 4 adult children and 2 fur babies.
We are entrepreneurs and we work together for over 20 years.
We have been married since 1999 through thick and thin, sickness and health, through troubles and triumphs, struggles and all victories. But God.
We built it up.
We built it up.
We built it up. And now we're solid. Solid as a rock. We are the Adolphs.
Join Married8 today by visiting www.married8.com.
I just got through watching a great show on Boss Up Houston Network. Have you heard? They're bossing up, okay? And I heard they're looking for you. Any podcasters, talk show hosts, if you're a writer or producer, we definitely need you. Come aboard and boss up.
Are you a small business owner that is struggling to promote your company?
Our topic today is what's your status?
Shoot the dice at this point.
You just shoot the dice. Roll the dice.
So,
Yes.
Hey, how y'all doing? It's attorneys.
I love it.
Imagine being televised on a national platform. How about being a host or sponsor on a syndicated podcast? Or being featured on exclusive promotions and interview for your product to your ideal customer. Hi, I'm Kayla Sneed, and I'm head of sales with Boss Up Houston. And here at Boss Up, we like to help small business owners and entrepreneurs advertise, promote, or become a sponsor for one of our television, podcast, or radio shows. All you have to do is click the link down below to see if you qualify. I'll be seeing you soon.
This is Boss Up Houston, where we look up, stay up, and boss up.
Welcome back into the Amber Neal Show. It is Thirsty Thursdays, and we are thirsty for Dr. Pepper.
I sure am. Thank you very much.
Yes, check it out for DJ Houston.
DJ who?
DJ Houston.
I'm sorry, DJ who?
Houston, baby.
That's right.
H-Town,
That's right.
DJ H-Town.
Better get it right, mother.
So I think we're going to put the number up on the screen. What is our phone number? It's 866. I believe it's 866 866-479-8752. I don't know if that's the right number, but we'll find out here just a minute.
She's like, I'm going to give it out anyway.
I think that's it. 866-479-8752. Boom. The phone lines are open, guys. The Matchmaker hotline is live in effect, guys. So call into the show today if you have any questions or you want to chime in on what you think love is. That is our topic today. What is love?
Right.
I mean, everybody is so confused about how to get it, how it's supposed to work, how long we're expecting it to last.
And something that I've noticed is depending on which generation you ask, depends on the kind of answer you get, because according to older generations, love was just about supporting your man no matter what kind of BS they went through.
No, we're not
if
doing
you
that
ask
no
a
more.
millennial what love is a hype man, somebody that's going to support you through all the thick and thin, but won't support you if you're doing bad.
I read this really powerful meme the other day. I don't even know if I saved it. Let me see if I saved it. But it said, let me try to paraphrase it. It said, having a partner that doesn't support you is a special kind of hell, and that is not a partner. And I know that sounds so simple, so profound, but so many times, and I've been guilty of it, and you probably have too, trying to make someone, not really make, but wait for someone to be your support, to return to a reciprocal love, a reciprocal foundation. And guys, the foundation of a relationship is a friendship. Trust me, the sex ain't always going to be there. The looks ain't always going to be there.
Most definitely.
Eventually, your boobs are going to head south for the winter unless you get them done, ladies.
Eventually, your balls are going to do the same. I love we thought about that at the same time. Oh, we've been simpatico since yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you.
Oh, did you see our painting? If y'all guys didn't get to see us yesterday, we got to do a little half painting, for our little after hours. These are the people who get to follow us on our Facebook that actually get to see what we do in our lives outside of the show. We did a little paint night last night, little work couples kind of little paint night, and it was cute. She got to do half a painting, I got to do half a painting. We were both kind of like, they look similar, but look so far different. But when I was looking at the picture last night from far away,
from my office to your office,
it looks so cute. One of my friends was like, I'd buy that painting, and I was like, oh, shut up, it wasn't that good, but it actually looks pretty cute.
It does look cute.
It's a total Bob Ross original.
We thought, we were like, last night we were like, okay, go get darts so we can at least we can nail the bird in the picture. Y'all should see our birds in the picture.
Mine's very fluffy.
His is yeah, okay. Anyway.
And fluffy.
But before we jump into what love is, I did come across this really fun meme. It said the signs and their best matches. Okay, so you're Libra, so you're gonna hate this, but according to the Libra, what does it say for you?
That I am compatible with an Aries, a Gemini, or a Libra. So I will totally agree with a Gemini and a Libra because I've been on both sides.
I'm surprised you would agree with a Gemini.
Well, I mean, like I said, my mother's a Gemini, and I'm a mama's boy for the most part, and I mean, so I kind of know how to handle Geminis.
Yeah.
Like I understand, you know what I mean. So like when it comes to the energy of a Gemini, I can match that, or I can be the opposite of what they need to be. For an Aries,
Libras can be a little moody, so I can see how y'all, as long as your moods are not at the same time.
Right, and it happens because I have dated other Libras before. I've actually dated 2 Libras with the same exact birthday. Ooh. Right, and those were roller coasters. The sex was great.
I'm
we were, because as Libras, we're very, but I don't know, the relationship wasn't so, because again, we were always on the same wavelength. So if we were both happy, we were both happy. If we were both sad, we were both sad. It would happen at the same time. And I've never dated an Aries before. I don't think I have. Aries is what?
That's like in early April. I think it's one right before Taurus, isn't it? And this one,
Right.
When this one?
Oh my gosh, yes, it was. So I've never dated an Aries before, so I couldn't really tell you about the experience there. So
I agree with mine. I'm a Virgo, right? So according to mine, it's Capricorn. I 100% agree with that. Capricorn is absolutely, if you're a Capricorn man and you're fine and you got it going on and you're hung, and you got a good family.
Call the matchmaker hotline.
Call the matchmaker hotline for my ass, okay? I'm looking for a
Ask
Capricorn.
for Miss Neal, okay?
Yeah, ask for Miss Neal, baby. If you're nasty.
It's not Mrs. It's Miss Neal.
Okay. Capricorn, Scorpio. Okay, so true story. Almost all of my best friends from the past have been Scorpio women. Both of my parents are Scorpio, so I tend to definitely definitely be drawn to Scorpios. Only problem with Scorpios, I'm temperamental, but they take the cake. That's the only bad thing about Scorpios. They have a fire ass temper usually. And Taurus, it's kind of funny. My son is a Taurus. I mean, Taurus, my love of my life, my very first love. Shout out to Michael Barstow. He was a Taurus, and I love Taurus. I love Taurus energy. They can be bullheaded as hell, but overall, we're very compatible. So
this one got me because I was reading a little long, and I love the Gemini is what got me. So I'm sitting here reading the pairs because one of the things that always gets me is how like one sign can be compatible with these. So like for example, I'm compatible with Geminis and Libras, and Aries, but an Aries isn't necessarily compatible for me.
To you,
you know. So I think it was a little weird. So I'm over here reading like, okay, so what's a Gemini compatible with? And it says the devil. Mom, I love you, but it is true. And it's funny because my mom's actually, she's married. You know, my dad is a Scorpio.
Oh.
So you know, you can see how that goes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like my dad's a Scorpio, my mom's a Gemini. It's kind of crazy. And I think, we have just about every sign in our family. What?
It's the rainbow. All right, we gotta jump on. All right, guys, we gotta get into our topic because we love talking about astrology and dating. Because I don't take astrology too serious, but there are some truths to it.
There are.
So, all right, guys, today's topic is what is love? Call into the Matchmaker hotline 866-479-8752 if you have a question. I hope that was the right number.
It was the right number. She finally got it right.
All right, so number one, what is love? Love is when someone understands you so well that they easily figure out about your mood without them even giving you a hint.
Ooh.
That's why you and I are so simpatico. Like, you can have a love that's not romantic, but still be in tune in the same way.
You really can, you know. Actually, a lot of my friends that are my friends were like that, you know. We love each other, but we're just not in love with each other, you know. And we're all on the same wavelength. Like, we understand, we can predict each other's needs before it even happens. Which, you know, goes and puts me on to the next one, because I know this one's definitely, like, me as a person. When I try to tell somebody, this is me for sure. It says, love is when someone asks if you've ate, if you're healthy, if everything's fine, if you need anything. Yeah. I mean, that's totally my love language.
That's
right
a Libra
there.
for you, though.
That's you
Y'all
know.
take care of but see, this is where Libras have to be careful, because Libras will get resentful quick because they give, and the thing about Libras, are so balanced. They're trying so hard to make sure everyone's happy that sometimes they're not happy or nobody's happy because they're trying so hard to please everyone
that nobody's
they don't
happy.
last.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you give, and then you get to a point where you're like, hold up, like this is not reciprocal. And instead of going and talking about it, you may just cut them off because you just have that resentful. Because you're like, if I have to tell you how to treat me, we're too old to teach people how to treat us.
Thank you. And that's my cutoff game is strong.
Yeah, I'm the same
like,
way.
I keep a chopping board right next to me at all times. Like, chop, go.
It's honestly the scariest thing about me is how I can be totally in love with you, but if you're not treating me right,
that cutoff game is strong. I'm telling you, man. Like, because I got tired. I got tired. So many people that I'm constantly helping and going through, and then where am I? Square one still.
Yeah.
And then when I ask for their help, where are they?
Exactly.
Square 20. Because I got them there.
Diana, shout out to Diana Patterson. I saw on her, she had a meme up that said, boundaries without consequences, basically yield you the wrong results. I mean, if there's no consequences, it's one thing to have boundaries, but if you just keep letting people push them further and further back, you're going to keep getting resentful. Just like you're going to get resentful, I challenge you ladies, especially if y'all marry young, don't give up your dreams. Don't just, let me just start getting pregnant, having babies, and then doing what they're doing. Meanwhile, you're stuck at home. You're having kids. You're doing your thing for what he wants. But what about what you want? So it's about keeping the balance and staying true to yourself. Oh, I watched this thing last night. It was so simply explained, and it was another coach talking about abandonment issues. And that's the one thing I always struggled with, that made me codependent, that made me not have boundaries, that didn't know my worth, that made me settle for less than I deserved. And the way he explained it was I loved it, because he was like, he's like, abandonment is nothing more than you abandoning yourself. And it took me a minute I thought about that, and I'm like, wow. So every time you're basically going against what you know is what you want, what you need, and you literally just ignore what you need for someone else's happiness, but you're so codependent to have love and to be accepted by someone that anything is better than nothing. But where that resistance comes in and you start feeling yucky and depressed and yucky, it's because you are abandoning you inside. I'm like, wow, I love that. I mean, that sounds so simple.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of the fact, though, you know? I mean, when you're... Something that I was actually explaining to somebody the other day is, like, when you're unhealed and you don't realize it, a lot of things that's going on is that you're just hurting yourself, you know, because you refuse to go back to the point of origin of what's causing this trauma to take care of it. So instead, you just try to run from it, and all you're doing is just hurting yourself. And the reason you're hurting yourself is because you're sitting here you're putting up all these big walls for everybody else that anyone that tries to come into your life, whether it's a business relationship, co-workers, friends, relationships. You're putting up so many walls, nobody can ever get in. Exactly. So then when nobody can ever get in, then you feel like you're all alone in the world. And then you get backed into a dark corner, and then you start going down a rabbit hole that nobody can pull you out of because you have nobody to pull you out of. Because you put such high walls up, you're guarded more than the Queen of England. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously.
Like, it's... I've seen people have so many walls up, and then you knock one down, and there's a bigger one behind that one.
Some of y'all have pit bulls, electric fences, and snipers.
And moats, like, looking like Florida over there.
and painfully so, that was the truth. That after I went through my divorce and went through that pain, I realized later in years, I look back, and it was never about picking men that were not what I needed. It was about picking men that were never a threat to make me have to be vulnerable again. And that's the part about love, is that it requires vulnerability. And the thing but here's the thing, guys, you have to give a person a safe place to be vulnerable. You can't throw things in their face. You can't withhold love. You can't fight for it. You can't make them earn your love. You know what I mean? And at the same, that's why we say the foundation is the friendship, and that's where lust gets us in trouble, because when we're just humping, nobody's focusing on how do we deal with conflict, how do we deal with our finances, how do we deal with our family, if we have kids, what are we going to teach them? You're so busy humping your brains out, you're not slowing down and building the foundation of friendship, and that's usually what falls apart.
It's true, you know, because when you're sitting there and you're just focused on sex, you know, like you said, sex dies, sex goes away. People get bored with sex at times, you know, and then so what's left? An empty shell. That's it. You have nothing. You probably have no emotion towards it either. No feelings. Nothing in common. You know what? You have your same freaky sides and sex in common, and that's about it.
I kind of get. To me, it's a pink flag if somebody is. We all have different drives. Like, some people want sex a lot, some people want sex a little. But if a person is just obsessed with all they want to do with you is have sex, having sex with you is not dating. That is not a relationship. That is a situationship. And sometimes situationships hurt more than breakups because you were never official. So you technically can't have the feeling, but you do. And that's where you play yourself. You settle for a situationship when what you really want is a relationship. So know your worth and say no. Just like Monday, I did not have sex with that guy, and now he's not talking to me. I don't give a fuck. So when we come back, guys, know your worth. Know your worth. He shouldn't be trying to date out of his league anyway. But know your worth, because at the end of the day, people do what they want to do, and people do what you let them. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to finish talking about what is love. We'll be right back.
Maridate, Houston's first private social club for couples.
Chris and I met on MySpace. We started doing music together first, and then we became really good friends, and we were friends for about 5 years. And then we started dating each other in 2008. By February 2009, we were engaged, and by by November 2009, we were married. We have 3 children together that we have raised, and we have traveled the world together and eaten some of the best food in the world, and collectively have just built up an amazing network of friends and family and a circle of people that we just love and care about, and they continue to motivate and we continue to motivate them. We build our energy on our relationship with the energy that we can give to other people and the effect that we can have on other people's lives. And we're going on 12 years strong this year through all the obstacles and the goods and the bads. We're still together and we're here to share our story.
Join Marydate today by visiting www.marydate.com. Marydate, Houston's first private social club for couples.
Hello, I'm Larry.
And I'm Denise. And we are the Scotts.
Denise and I have been married for almost a year now, and it has been a thrill.
Yes, it has. We are always honeymooning and always on the go, doing something as a couple.
And that's what I love about my wife, Denise. She is full of energy, she's full of excitement, and she is full of love.
And I love you for allowing me to shine my love in your life, and I'm super ready to share a lifetime of memory with you.
She's my wife.
He's my husband.
She's my friend.
He's my friend.
She's my everything.
He's my everything.
She's my queen.
He's my king.
She's my lifetime.
He's my lifetime. This is what makes a happy marriage.
And we both believe what God put together, no one can ever tear apart.
Join Marydate today by visiting www.marydate.com. Marydate, Houston's first private social club for couples.
It all started when one of Jen's friends brought her out to a bar and she didn't want to go out. She saw me and said she's going to marry that guy. Her friends thought it was funny. The next night we met. This was 2 days before Christmas. And then we've been together ever since. That was 2007. We hung out that night, didn't even know each other's names. And then eventually we started hanging out and got together, got engaged January of 2008. Got married April of 2009. And we have 2 kids and a third that we just had a month and a half ago in May. So now we have 3 kids, own a business, been together for 14 years now, and no turning back from there. Everybody said we wouldn't make it. We've been through trials and tribulations, made sure that we always stuck by each other's side and took care of everything we're supposed to, and we've been tested a lot. We have been tested hard. Other than that, we have enjoyed life. We travel. We enjoy spending time with each other 24 hours a day. Never a dull moment, never separation. It's actually been great.
Join Marydate today by visiting www.marydate.com.
Hey guys, welcome back into Thirsty Thursdays here on the Amber Neal Show with my co-host DJ Houston. Hi. Hey. Hello. We got a good show for you guys today. We're talking about what is love. You know, we get a lot of opinions about that, and we want to hear your opinion too, though. What do you think love is? Call into the hotline 866-479.
8752.
I was like, I almost had it there. Okay. All right. So, where were we at? We were on number 2. So now we're number 3. Okay. What's number 3?
Number 3. Love is when someone talks to you about anything you want with the same emotions as you do.
Yeah, it's kind of like if I came to you and I'm like, I want to talk about our relationship and I'm happy to talk about it, and you're like, yeah, okay. Yeah, what do you want to talk about? Like, if they don't have the same excitement, and I get it, we're all in different moods, we have things going on, but if this is a continual pattern that every time you want to talk about something to do with your relationship, you get an attitude, or they blow you off, or they push you away, or they get mad because I don't want to hear that, You hear? I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because when we sit here and talk about things like this on our show, you know, because there's a lot of things that I've learned since I've joined the show. It always takes me down memory lane, and I sit here and start thinking about, like, oh my gosh, these are all things that I used to do. These are all things that was me, you know, like that it's funny. It's just funny. It just, you know, it proves to me about how much I've grown as a human, how much I've learned, how much I've healed, the things that I won't put up with no more. So it's kind of funny, you know, like, because to think back, you know, my ex-husband, like, that's the way it was all the time. Like, it was, when we would talk, it was just, ugh, you know, like, it was never, yeah. I mean, of course, the honeymoon stage, it was, like, great, you know. It was great all the way up until the ring got put on my finger. And then once the ring got put on my finger, that's when it was like, shut the fuck up. Stop talking already.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so annoyed with you. Like, seriously, this conversation again? You want to talk about us again? You got a ring, don't you? And it's like...
I knew a guy, it's so crazy. His wife told me, they got divorced, and she told me that when the day they got married, he told her, he said, you know I love you, right? Yeah. Well, unless we are 2 states or two rivers away, I will not be saying it anymore because you wear it out too much. Wow. On their wedding day. And they wonder why they're divorced. They clearly did not do the 5 love languages test.
I mean...
Go do it. 5lovelanguages.com. And I even tried to date a guy. I tried to say, hey, let's do our 5 love language test. And he's like, I don't believe in that. So the thing is about it's very... it can be challenging. So when they don't have the same excitement or effort level or attentiveness to being aware.
I want to say the same
something
passion.
Is wrong.
You know, if they don't have that passion behind the relationship.
And like, you shouldn't walk on eggshells.
You really shouldn't
feel like I can't talk to you about how I'm feeling because without communication and without understanding, what do you have?
And like we said before the break, you know, your relationship should be your safe space. You should be able to be vulnerable there. Walking on eggshells is not being vulnerable, you know. Having to watch every word that you say, that comes out of your mouth, how you say it, you know, having to hide your feelings, that's not a safe space. That's not your sanctuary, you know. That's you should have that. And if you don't have that, then you're in a very bad toxic relationship.
Yes. That is truly living in hell.
Yeah,
when
because
you feel like stifled. You feel what's the word I'm looking for? You just like you feel when you feel like you can't say what you need to say.
You feel like you're suffocating, you know, because you can't be you, and because it's like, where are you supposed to have your safe space if your safe space is home with your partner, and you can't have it because you can't have, you know, your safe space definitely not at work.
Go to therapy, guys. Y'all go to marriedate.com. If you're a married couple and y'all are struggling to get out of this negative energy, we have a solution for you guys. Go check it out at marriedate.com. Our focus is on mental health because, hey, it might not even be your partner's fault. So it's so easy to blame them for their actions. You want to blame them.
Right.
But the reality of it is a lot of us are walking around as unhealed adults that need to go heal our inner child, that need to reparent ourselves.
That need to learn what love is.
And unhealed. But see, that's the thing. If you grew up without an example, or you grew up where your mother was getting abused, your father was a raging alcoholic, you saw a lot of drugs, you saw a lot of pimping, you saw a lot of hoes. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, depending on what you grew up with, that's normal. So if your mom has been married 3 or 4 times and she hadn't healed from her worth issues, so to make her husband's prove that they love her, she starts a fight with them. So you grow up thinking it's normal. This is how I get my man to prove he loves me, is I start a fight with them. And so it's not always their fault. And that's why it's important you slow down in the beginning when the lust is rampant. And again, we need the lust to get us through the disillusionment, to get to the negotiation part of a relationship. But at the beginning, you need to kind of have the balance of, you need to also be focusing on the friendship. And what is a friend? Think about this. We all have a best friend, right?
Right.
Billy Willis has been my best friend since 1990. Okay? We've grown up together since literally elementary. And, you know, it's so interesting. There is nothing on this planet I cannot talk to you about that man. He's married. He's happily married. He's got kids, whatever. We've always been platonic, never been inappropriate. He has never made an inappropriate comment to me. You know what I'm saying? Because he respects his marriage, number one, and he respects our friendship. He respects me as a woman. But the thing is, I can tell him anything. And trust me, just like with you, DJ Houston, I'm going to tell you some stuff sometimes, and you're going to roast my ass on the spot because you're going to tell me how stupid I am. But it's all in love. But that is the foundation for love, is being able to be vulnerable, that I can tell you anything, tell you my most painful things, and you not judge me for it. Now, you might talk crap just to, to snap me out of something stupid I'm doing.
Of course.
But at the same time, it's all in love.
Right.
But if you can't talk to him, why do you call that your man or your woman?
Exactly.
Some of y'all scared to pray the enemy, that God will remove the enemy out of your life, because then your man's going to disappear. Y'all are there sleeping with the damn devil, and you wonder why you're not happy.
Oh,
right?
Right.
All right, guys. So number 4, love is when someone sacrifices their happiness for the sake of yours. Okay. I dated a guy once who, I told him that. I said, love, how I know if somebody loves me is because they're willing to sacrifice. It doesn't mean like, oh, I'm paying all your bills, or it's nothing about finances. It's about, I want this my way, and you want this way. So let's talk about the 3 phases of the relationship again. Lust, disillusionment, and negotiations. So let's say that you get through the disillusionment, like, okay, well, you don't do everything the way I like, but I don't either, right? And then you get to the negotiation, the business part of the marriage. Okay, well, this is what I need, and okay, well, this is what I need. And that is the sacrifice I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, so once you do the 5 love languages test, and you're like, okay, well, actually, I see why you're so, we're getting in fights because we're not spending enough time together, because your love language is quality time. And once they're aware of it, and they still don't change, that's the wrong person. The right person will be willing to go, oh, okay, you need more time with me. I will make that sacrifice to give you more of that, because it will help us both. But what do you need, DJ Houston? You like acts of service. So I'm going to make sure that because you're giving me more time, I help you with things. I do more things for you. I do more thoughtful things, because that's how you receive love. So we give and receive love totally different. But the sacrifice is when you're not willing to give them their love language.
I would like to find out what their love language is.
Right. Not willing to find out, you're not willing to do it. Trust and believe. I'm actually writing another book right now, and the first chapter is called They Make No Investment in You. And signs to tell. And the book is really about, it's about how lust destroys love in a bad way. It talks about how we think it's love, and then we wind up marrying that person. It was really just lust. But the thing is, the first chapter talks about how they don't invest in you. So if they're not willing to sacrifice the little things for you, they definitely are not willing to do the big things.
You're absolutely right. It's about that compromise portion of the relationship, and I'm not saying that I want you to give up your dreams for me. I'm saying I want you to be willing to give up your dreams for me. You know what I'm saying? And because I'd be willing to do the same thing for you. Like, and that's what I feel like is the sacrifice. I
don't even think you meant it like that. I think you meant it like they will be willing to support you.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
They don't
like,
want to give up their dreams.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I said. I mean, I'm not saying that you will. I'm just saying that you'd be willing. Like,
to modify.
I have exactly like. I got a big promotion, and I got to move to New York. You know what I'm saying?
That
like,
part.
You'd be willing to move with me. Not saying that you're going to right away, because, you got work, things like that. But you'd be willing to say, you go ahead and go over there for it. Or if I got an internship for 6 months in New York, you go ahead and you go do it, and I will stay here and hold down the fort. That's sacrifice.
Or you're willing to move.
Exactly. Or I'm willing to move with you, Like, I'm willing. It's okay. My job's not that important. I can find a new one.
Or I'm going to go back to school right now, and you have to pay all the bills.
Right.
But then when I graduate, then what do you want to do for 2 years? And then you can pay all the bills. And it's about a best friend. It's a partnership. And that really hit home to me when I saw that. If they're not supporting you, they're not a partner. When I think of business partnerships, how long do you think a business partnership is going to last if it's one-sided?
Right?
Why do you think
It
your marriage
doesn't.
is any different? You can't. That's the thing. Know your worth, because what happens is when you're sitting there being passive aggressive and you're not demanding and you're not putting your boundaries up, eventually it's gonna blow up.
And I mean, for some people, sometimes you have to think of things like a business because that's the way some people think. And there's nothing wrong with thinking like your relationship's a business transaction because in reality, it kind of is.
Exactly.
It's just you're adding a different factor in there. You're adding the factor of emotion. So, you just got to calculate emotion into there and think about the different steps you have to take upon that. But it is still a business transaction because you're compromising here, you're compromising there. You're blending two companies to one company. It's just a big merger. That's what it is. So just if you have to think
Not
of it.
a hostile takeover.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay?
exactly. It's a merger.
What is number
So
5?
love is when somebody gets excited just through the thought of you. They hear your name and they're like, "Oh, I can't wait!" Or they see your name pop up on their phone from a text message. Oh my god! Exactly. That's love. Just or the smell of your perfume. It's just those small little things that it brightens their day, and you don't even know about it half the time. They're sitting at work and they just happen to hear your voice from a video clip they saw on their Instagram story, and they're just like, "Oh, that's my baby! I can't wait to get in the home and be in their arms." Gets excited.
If you're dreading going home to your person, that's how affairs start.
Ooh.
Affairs start in conversation, not in the bedroom. Okay? It usually starts off with, they're fighting at home, and then I'm going to jump online, and I'm going to entertain this guy trying to talk to me. Oh, well, it's just dinner. Oh, it's just lunch. And then, boom, your legs are in the air, and how the hell that happened?
Mm-hmm.
But it all starts with a conversation, but it comes from a feeling, because at the end of the day, it's all about the way somebody makes you feel.
Listen, I remember when one of my exes told me, it was like, you went on a date with this person? Well, it was just for coffee. We didn't do anything else. It was just but it was a date with another person. Like, why? What are you not getting from me that you feel like you got to go on a date with somebody else?
Exactly.
And they're like, it's just meeting new friends. Then it's not a date. It's a friendship thing. But when you go on a coffee shop, you sit down and you have coffee. To me, that's a little more than what friends do. That's a romantic thing, because you're getting FaceTime. You're sitting across from each other.
That's why social media was cited for 50% of the divorces last year, because it always starts off with just a friend.
Always starts off with that.
And then you're laying in bed with your spouse, and they're like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, on Facebook." They don't think nothing of it. Right. Hell, I got hit on LinkedIn, so. This next one is, what is love? And this goes back to the foundation of a best friend. I know one of the things that people I know that really love me, the number one things they tell me? You need to drink more water, Amber. You need to put down that damn Dr. Pepper. Okay? Because, you'll wrestle this out of my dead cold hands. I promise.
Yeah, see, I tried to take the route of telling her she needed to drink more water. What I had to do is just trick her and start putting more ice in her Dr. Peppers, so she's getting some form of water, because she won't.
See, I caught on to that. Now I drink cans.
She won't.
How you gonna get ice in this?
But I do scold her. But sometimes it's better to just feed the beast. Here you go.
Yes.
Instead of because I can only tell her so many times until she's just
at the end of the day,
but
it's like anything you want to change. You want to lose weight, you want to look better, you want another career, you want to go for your dreams. You have to be ready for that. You
do.
have to be willing to hear it. Just like when you have to leave a toxic relationship, you have to be. Your friends and your whole sports circle can tell you all day, like, "Girl, he's a dog, he's this, he da da."
But you ain't gonna leave until you're ready.
Until you're ready.
And and so just because they're not ready doesn't mean you shouldn't tell them.
Right.
Like just because sometimes they just need to keep hearing it.
But
Some people are just stubborn.
Tell them the truth. Put the truth in their life. That is how you can tell somebody really cares
And
about
just
you.
be careful on how you say it.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
Don't
if
say
you think your partner's getting big, don't go over there and be like, "Hey, you're getting fat. Take your butt to the gym." It's like,
yeah, that's very insensitive.
Yeah, like you gotta be very aware of the words that you use when you're trying to support somebody and show them, because sometimes, even though I've been caught in this situation myself. This is how I'm telling you. Sometimes you're trying to tell them out of love, but they take it out of context, and then it's.
And that's why you should never text anything important.
Right, especially if you're telling somebody they need to get in the gym.
Yeah, you can't tell their tone, their inflection. They're just looking at you like, "Well, damn."
Thanks very much for telling me I got to get to the gym.
Oh
I
my
know.
God, I already know I look like a water buffalo. I don't need you telling me.
So love is when love is when they try to understand you instead of always being right. You know, they want to know why you're upset. They want to know why you're arguing with me right now. What button did I push? What trigger did I do? You know, they want to understand. They want to help you get past the trauma and not continue to create more trauma just because, hell, they probably were right. But instead of saying I was right, I want to say, babe, what can I do? What did I do to trigger this? Why do you think you're right? What can I do to fix this in the future?
That's one of the most frustrating things you can feel in a relationship is that it's more important for them to be right than understand you. And when you don't feel understood, that's when affairs start again, because now you're talking to your work husband. Now you're talking to, some random guy in the elevator. Now you're talking to anybody that your family because you don't feel understood. So that's when understanding dies. That is when the floodgates of hell open up with the temptation. Because once you don't feel understood, that is when you give up. Because you can only say things so many times. And then you give up because you're frustrated. Because I've tried to tell you a million times what I need, and you don't listen. So I have no choice but to stop talking because it's not going anywhere. And it's sad when you have to leave somebody you're in love with.
Yeah, it hurts. It really does, you know. I know me and him have both done it before, you know. You find the person you love and you think you're going to spend the rest of your life with them, and it sucks that you can't get through to them to tell them that, you know, what they're doing is hurting you and they won't listen, so you have to leave.
And it's usually something so simple.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I need a little more time, or I need a little more togetherness, or I need a little more, whatever your love language is. But when they won't even acknowledge what you're saying is real and perception is reality, you get to that point where love is not enough. That is, so even though we're talking about what is love today, love is not enough to sustain a relationship when there's no understanding.
I know, that's why, you know, I know people used to say love is enough.
It's not.
But it really, like, whoever invented that crap of
was somebody
crap
who settled.
was, yeah, because it's just like, I mean, I may love you to death, but if you're not giving me what I need or want, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stick around because then I start hating myself.
That part. Yes, absolutely. You start getting resentful.
Thank you.
Number 8, love, real love. Okay, this is going to be a tricky one, guys, because I got to elaborate a little bit. Love is unconditional, okay? So that means if you lose your job, I still love you. If you
lose your eyes or your
legs, I still love you. You know, if you
become
get
rich,
sick,
I still love you.
I really love you. I love your ass. But unconditional, that's a tough word for me, right? Loving someone is when you can love them even if that means they're not with you. That is what I mean by unconditional love. Sometimes it's not enough, you're not enough, they're not enough, and it's just we want what we want, right? So you can love someone forever, but sometimes you have to love people from afar. Because just because you unconditionally love them doesn't mean you should be with them. And that's what I'm trying to clarify.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that because I may love them unconditionally, but if they're not right for you or they're not doing right because they're not ready, they're not healed, then, you know, it's time to separate until it is right. Because, I know I've testified in my stories several times about how, you know, I've left one of my exes go who I was, like, so in love with because I wasn't ready. I realized that I was the problem, that I wasn't the one healed enough to help this person. And so instead of letting this person go where they're supposed to go in life and do that, I was holding them back.
Yeah.
That's unconditional love.
Exactly.
You know, you are still saying, I love you and I want the best for you. And the best is for right now to not be with me.
That's right.
That's what we're talking about when we say unconditional love.
And we talk about that all the time. You know, a man can know you're the right one. But if he's not ready, it don't matter.
Exactly. Timing is everything.
He can love you all day, but if he ain't ready, he ain't ready.
Amen to that. And that brings us to our last one, you know, what is love? Love is patience. It's kind. It holds on to no records of wrongdoing. Love is suffering, and it's not really angered at all. You can actually talk to somebody when you're upset, or you can bring up something that's going to normally upset somebody, and instead of getting upset over it, they're going to just talk to you about it and understand and say, well, I would rather you talk to me about it than hold on to it or lie or...
But that's your ego. So your ego is what makes you not do those things. I want to feel vindicated for what you did. So until you can vindicate me, I'm going to hold my anger. I'm going to hold forgiveness. That makes you sick. You know what I'm saying? You're only sick as your secret. So you got to let go when people hurt you, when they do wrong you. But real love is, people are going to disappoint you. They're going to hurt you. They're going to let you down. Any marriage on the planet will tell you it is not rainbows and glitter, and you know what I'm saying? 70% of the things couples fight over never get resolved. So you're going to have conflict in a relationship. It's how you handle it. If you're holding those records, every time I do something, I'm throwing it in your face. Every time you do something, I'm throwing it in your face. I'm reminding you, man, even the Bible says that God don't even remember. Once you ask for forgiveness, God don't even remember your sins.
And the fact of the matter is,
why do we do that to
honestly,
each other?
you really can't remember about all this stuff. Because think about it. You're supposed to spend the rest of your life together. Okay? Till death do us part. You're going to mess up a lot. So if you keep holding on to those records, that list is going to be longer than the list of the good things. Because over the years, we make mistakes as humans. We make mistakes hundreds of times a day. The difference is whether you learn from the mistakes or not. But if you hold on to those mistakes and just constantly keep bringing it up, that list will get longer than the good things because you got years and years and years. And again, mistakes happen more often than we even realize they do.
And that's the key word, long suffering. It just means when you love somebody, you're going to go through some pain with them.
Right.
There is no love without pain because we're not perfect. Some of us are unhealed. Some of us don't know we don't know. Some of us only grew up in toxic. The best thing you can do when you enter into a new relationship is become friends. When you're considering marriage, go to premarital counseling and then stay in counseling once a month as maintenance to help you have somebody that you can have that resolution. Because if you have therapy as an option and you're fighting and you may feel like, I want to leave this person, but if you know in the back of your mind, but we've got that therapist appointment next week, okay, I'm going to at least wait and go try to get a mediator. Right. Whereas if you don't have a therapist, you're kind of like, F it, I'm just out of here. So love is what you make it. Love is patient and it is kind and holds no records of wrongdoing. So that's why we say love is selfless, lust is ego-based and selfish, and it's all about you. So if you are with somebody who's not willing to sacrifice, not willing to compromise, not willing to find understanding, they only want to be right, and they want to dismiss your feelings, that is lust. That is not love.
Absolutely.
Drop the mic. Okay.
Thank you.
Man, what another fun Thursday. We hope you guys we feel like we need to take a break from the Sexy Single Sofa today because I feel like we just needed to break it down a little bit more on what is love really.
Right.
A lot of you guys have never had a clue or an understanding to what it really is. So how can you know what you don't know? So tomorrow on Effin' Fridays, we're back in studio with our co-host Ryan Yarbrough, and we got another good show for y'all tomorrow as well. And what else do we have? Any announcements we have to make?
Of course, go check out marriedate.com. Thank you for sponsoring the show. But for all you couples out there, I know we didn't talk to you singles, but all you couples out there who are looking to spice up the relationship again, put the date back in marriage, we got 50 events a month, up to 50 events a month. Yes. Virtual coming August 1st, hopefully. We're going to be doing at least 10 events a month for that. Make sure you guys come on. We're trying to help you. We're getting that mental health taken care of. We're giving you activities to do so that way you can keep the fun back in life. I know last night me and Amber decided to go and check out one of our events again last night just to see how everything's flowing, see the fun of it. And we did the couples paint night together. And again, like we said at the beginning of the show, we made some memories last night. It was fun. We had a lot of fun, even though, I wanted to couple times because she was touching my painting, but it came out cute. It was fun. We had a little fun even though we were dabbing on each other's paint. It made it that much more fun. And so really, guys, check out marriedate.com, marridate.com. Go check it out. You get to try 10 events before you have to become a member.
And if you want more information about becoming a friend of the show, or you yourself want to be on the Sexy Single Sofa, hit us up at the Amber Neal Show page on Facebook. And for more information, go to amberneal.com. If you need a matchmaker, a date coach, a PR, or a comedy show, hit me up at amberneal.com.
Absolutely. And next week we return back with our Sexy Single Sofa. We'll have Nicole coming on next week. So y'all guys, check us out next Thursday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. right here on Boss Up Houston Network. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
See ya.
Maridate, Houston's first private social club for couples.
Chris and I met on MySpace. We started doing music together first, and then we became really good friends, and we were friends for about 5 years. And then we started dating each other in 2008. By February 2009, we were engaged, and by November 2009, we were married. We have 3 children together that we have raised, and we have traveled the world together and eaten some of the best food in the world, and collectively have just built up an amazing network of friends and family and a circle of people that we just love and care about, and they continue to motivate, and we continue to motivate them. We build our energy on our relationship with the energy that we can give to other people and the effect that we can have on other people's lives. And we're going on 12 years strong this year through all the obstacles and the goods and the bads. We're still together, and we're here to share our story.
Join Maridate today by visiting www.maridate.com. Maridate, Houston's first private social club for couples.
Chris and I met on MySpace. We started doing music together first, and then we became really good friends, and we were friends for about 5 years. And then we started dating each other in 2008. By February 2009, we were engaged, and by November 2009, we were married. We have 3 children together that we have raised, and we have traveled the world together and eaten some of the best food in the world, and collectively have just built up an amazing network of friends and family and a circle of people that we just love and care about, and they continue to motivate, and we continue to motivate them. We build our energy on our relationship with the energy that we can give to other people and the effect that we can have on other people's lives. And we're going on 12 years strong this year through all the obstacles and the goods and the bads. We're still together, and we're here to share our story.
Join Maridate today by visiting www.maridate.com.